300 micrometers in comparison with A silicon. Okay? A silicon is another type of semiconductors. Hindi lang siya pure silicon, something may mixture yan. Requiring only approximately equal to 5 micrometers. So therefore, there is a considerable material saving using in a silicon. So kung pure silicon at may mixture na silicon, ito yung difference nila. Kung sa pure silicon, 300 micrometers. Sa may mixture, we have 5 lang. So, ang laki ng difference. Ano? So, here are some properties of semiconductors in solar cells. So, we have 5. So, the first one is the energy gap and the intrinsic concentration. So, energy gap or EG and intrinsic concentration or NI. Okay? So, a semiconductor has an electron filled valence band and an empty conduction band. So the two bands are separated by an energy gap. So if we are to imagine using this image, ito ang ating electron field valence band and ito ang empty conduction band. So may gap dito. So ano yung nagko-connecta sa kanila? Ang nagko-connecta sa kanila or yung bridge sa kanila is called the covalent bond. Ito ang covalent band natin. Okay? Or known also as valence electron. Okay? Again, this is the covalent bond. May kumokonekta dyang 4 covalent bonds for each neighboring atoms. Okay? So, yun yung yung nagko-connect or also known as valence electron. So, the two bands are separated by an energy gap or EG. It ranges from a few tenths of electron volts to a few electron volts. So, silicon has an energy gap of 1.1 electron valence. And a gallium arsenic, ayan, as I've discussed, hindi lang silicon ang pwede nating semiconductor. Merong iba pang materials. Ayun nga dun sa first topic natin, yung introduction to solar energy. 'Di ba? Yung sinabi natin, yung nasa video doon, sinabi doon ang napoproduce lang na solar cell is 0.5 watts. Then, yung sa sumunod na definition, yung diniscuss natin, ang sinabi naman, 1 or 2 watts. So, depende kasi yon sa ating solar cell, kung saan gawa ang solar cell. Diniscuss din naman doon, depending on your material, yun yung mapoproduce na watts ng ating solar cell. Ano? So, hindi lang silicon talaga ang ating solar cell. May pwedeng gallium arsenic. Ano? If I'm not mistaken, ang gallium arsenic ata ang may pinakamataas na efficiency. Mas mataas ang efficiency niya compared sa silicon. Okay? So, ang energy gap dito sa gallium arsenic natin is 1.45. Okay? Dito naman sa silicon, 1.1 lang. Pero dito sa gallium arsenic is 1.45. Okay? So the elementary semiconductors are characterized by a saturated covalent bonds as shown in the figure. So where each atom is bonded to the neighboring atoms by 4 covalent bonds. Again, ang kumokonekta lang sa kanila is covalent bonds or also known as valence electron. Okay? So the valence electrons are shared by the neighboring atoms that are bound by the parent atoms. So they are locally fixed and are not capable of conducting electricity. So dahil meron na tayong energy gap dito, wala pa rin yung energy or electricity na po-produce. So paano nakakapag-produce itong type na to ng electricity? So kailangan we need to asan yon? To make such a material conduct electricity, we have to free valence electron. So this can be done by doing work sufficient to break the bond. So we need to break the covalent bond. Kailangan nating sirain yung bond para makapag-produce ng electricity. So there are 3 types to break this bond. So we have heating. First, from solar thermal, ang heating natin, di ba? Then we have the illuminating the material with a suitable light. Illuminating naman the material with a suitable light is for the PV system. Ano? PV system natin, solar panel natin. Para makapag-break ng bond, nagpo-produce ang PV system natin ng electricity at nag-harness pala, nag-harness ng energy. And yun yung nagiging electricity natin. Ano? So, itong dalawang to, isa yan sa pagbe-break ng bond. Again, heating for solar thermal, illuminating the material with a suitable light for PV system natin or solar PV system or solar photovoltaic, and doping the material with suitable impurities. So, doping again, may ina-add tayo na impurity para ma-break yung bond. Ano? So, any semiconductor materials work at room temperature. So, ibig sabihin, kahit saan, basta room temperature din, gumagana yan, semiconductor. And hence, it contains heat and bonds will be broken thermally. So, for thermally, again, solar thermal yung nangyayari. When bond is broken, it produces a free hole and free electron. Ano? Kapag nagkaroon ng free hole and ng free electron, nagkakaroon ng p-n junction. Ano? For the p-type and the n-type, or p area and n area, where there is positive and negative. So both are capable of conducting electricity in the material. The minimum energy required to break a bond and generate an electron hole, or each pair, is called the energy gap. So the energy gap separates the free electrons from the free holes as illustrated in this figure. So ito ang ating energy gap. Ano? Sineseparate nila yung merong holes at yung merong electrons, yung freely moving electrons. Kung makikita nyo ulit yung nasa video natin, dun sa topic 1 natin, yung i-discuss ang p-n junction, magkahiwalay ang freely moving electrons tsaka yung kung saan merong nagkakaroon ng hole. Ano? So, panoodin nyo yun. Maganda ang ano dun. Ang discussion, ang explanation ng ating how solar panels work. So, number 2 properties of semiconductor is the doping and conductivity of the material. Again, as I've said, ang doping natin may additional na dinadagdag tayo sa substance. So, ito ang kanyang definition. Doping is an intentional addition of specific impurities to the material to produce an N-type or P-type conductors. So, may ina-add tayo sa silicon. Para magkaroon ng N-type or P-type na conductors. So to produce an N-type silicon, kunyari silicon lang talaga yung ating solar cell, gawa sa silicon lang talaga. So to produce ang N-type, ang ina-add natin, may mini-mix tayo sa silicon, such as for phosphorus and arsenic. Okay? Again, para makapag-produce ang silicon natin ng N-type, we are adding phosphorus and arsenic. Once na na-add na tong phosphorus at arsenic na to, yung silicon natin na crystalline silicon, magkakaroon dyan ng N-type. Now, to get a P-type naman, ang ina-add naman natin sa silicon is we add trivalent atoms such as boron, gallium, and aluminum. Okay? Again, to produce a P-type, boron, gallium, and aluminum ang kailangan. For N-type, we need to add phosphorus and arsenic. For P-type, para makapag-produce ng P-type, boron, gallium, and aluminum naman. Okay? Makapag-produce. So, yun yung doping. May ina-add tayong specific impurities to the material. Okay? Next property is the semiconductor currents. So, ito yung currents natin. So, it was discussed earlier naman sa discussion natin sa topic 1. May dinadaluyan ang ating electrons. So, kapag meron tayong p-n junction, merong pathway ang electrons natin. So, if you will watch our video again, imagine nandito yung bumbilya natin, sa part na to. And yung electron natin, sa taas itong negative na to, ang daloy niyan palabas. So dito, may arrow naman. Dito daw yung daloy ng electron. Ayan. So kung may bumbilya dito, dadaloy dyan yun, electron natin. Then lalabas ulit. Papunta uli dito sa ating positive area or the p-type. Bakit bumabalik yung electron natin? Kasi renewable energy ang ating solar energy. So gagamit uli. Okay? Yun nga lang, hindi pa ganun kataas ang efficiency. Okay? So semiconductor currents, So na-discuss na rin to sa ating unang mga topics. Parang ini-explain lang ulit. Parang review pa rin. So next we have the recombination. So recombination, may tatlo tayo niyan. Recombination mechanism and minority carrier lifetime. So recombination, it is an intrinsic property of any semiconductor material, and in this process, the electrons meet a hole and completes a broken bond. So nakokompleto daw ulit. Napasok ulit yung electrons natin dun sa hole, dun sa p-type para ma-complete ang broken bond. And kung papanoodin natin ulit yung ating video from the first topic, ang ating photons or yung solar radiation or yung sunlight, pag tumatama sa solar panel, again, kumekreate siya ng bagong holes sa p-type. Nagke-create uli ng panibagong holes. So natatakloban ulit yan kapag bumabalik na yung electron. So both are going to be lost. So there are different recombination mechanisms. So unang-una, we have the band-to-band radiative recombination. Then we had a band impurity bond or Shockley Reed Hall non-radiative recombination, and we have the Auger recombination. So these are the three types of recombination mechanism. Okay? For our last property is of semiconductor is the optical properties. So we are interested in understanding the response of semiconductor to light. So bakit tayo interested sa response? Kasi again, we are still under the development stage of our solar energy or yung mga pag-harness natin ng solar energy. We're the under development stage, nasa inaaral pa natin, we're still making further studies. Unti-unti nagkakaroon tayo ng progress tungkol sa solar energy. Ano? Okay? So if a light beam is incident on a semiconductor material, part of the light energy will be reflected. Again, may nare-reflect, may naa-absorb, may nai-scatter. So a part will be absorbed inside the material after refraction, and the remaining part will be transmitted. So it is assumed that the light is falling perpendicular to the surface. Ano? So the absorption of light energy is characterized by the absorption coefficient alpha. So again, ang tawag dito is the absorption coefficient, which means that the incident light intensity or I decays exponentially with the distance or x from the surface of incidence. Okay? So it is well established now that the light is composed of energy, quanta called the photons. Yung photons, nabanggit yan dun sa video sa topic 1, yung introduction to solar energy. So if you have time, kindly watch yung video. Maganda talaga yun eh. Andun kasi talaga yung parang discussion na natin about solar energy. Okay? So these photons interact with the electrons and atoms of the materials. So the photon energy or symbol niya EPH, is given by photon energy is equal to HF, where H is the Planck's constant and the F is the photon frequency. Okay po? On the other side, photons are wave packets having a wavelength. Again, ito na-discuss na to last meeting. Ating part 1 kung saan itong lambda symbol na to, ang ibig sabihin ay wavelength of the radiation at its peak being emitted or simply wavelength lang. And velocity where c, ang ating velocity is equal to 3 times 10 to the 8 meters per second. Such that ang velocity daw ay equal sa wavelength times the photon frequency. Therefore, the photon energy is equal to Planck's constant, and the photon frequency. So the photon energy is inversely proportional to the light wavelength. Okay? Now we are able to understand how the light affects the material. Only valence electrons can absorb photons pala. When they can acquire sufficient energy to overcome the energy gap of the material, and if this happens, it is called the photon generation process of an electron hole pair. Okay? So again, at ating discussion dito, more on additional information na lang about kung saan gawa ang semiconductor, ang ating solar cells or yung semiconductors and mga properties. Ano? So, anong kailangan dito sa energy photon sa ating semiconductor dito sa solar cell? So, ang required minimum photon natin dito, kailangan yung energy photon should be greater than or equal to energy gap. Okay? Yun nga lang, may rule na kung saan hindi pwedeng lumampas ng twice ng energy gap ang ating electron photon. Okay? Again, kailangan lang sa electric energy photon natin, mas mataas sa Ag. Yun nga lang, hindi siya lalampas ng twice the value ng energy gap. Okay? So, cannot produce, kapag lumampas kasi yan, it cannot produce two EH pairs except with a very small probability. Ano? So, makakapag-produce pa rin naman, yun nga lang, mababa yung chance. Ano? So, kapag baba ng chance, di sobrang baba ng efficiency. So, ang maintain natin is yung greater than energy gap, hindi nga lang twice the value. Okay? So, as this process requires the collision of photons with two electrons simultaneously, if it is a direct process, ano? So, ito, an image. So, absorption coefficient or the symbol, yung alpha natin, is a function of the incident wavelength of the photons and it is a material property. So the figure shows the absorption coefficient of different semiconductors. So nandito yung iba't ibang klase ng ating semiconductors. Nandyan, nakalista. So we have silicon, silicon, gallium arsenic, and etc. Ano? Okay? So, hindi lang talaga silicon ang semiconductor natin. May mga iba pa. Pwedeng purely silicon, pwedeng may mixture ng silicon, pwedeng gallium arsenic, etc. Ano? So, madami talagang semiconductors. Yun nga lang, silicon nga lang kasi ang ating second most abundant. So, yun yung ginagamit natin malimit. Ano? So, balik tayo dito. So the energy gap of a material is also given. A second important observation is that the absorption coefficient of a silicon rises slowly with the decreased wavelength compared with the others. So pag-decrease daw ng wavelength, kung itong ating wavelength, pag decrease ng wavelength, pagtaas daw ng absorption coefficiency. Ano, kung makikita nyo dito, nagsimula ang wavelength natin around dito. So, imagine 1.09. Bumababa yung ating wavelength, tumataas yung absorption coefficient ng ating silicon. Ano? So, this is the explanation lang dun sa image. So, pagbaba ng ating wavelength, pagtaas ng absorption coefficient. Okay? So, generally, minimum semiconductor layer thickness the minimum semiconductor layer thickness to absorb light can be expressed by. So, ito yung minimum thickness natin. Kailangan lang dyan is greater than or equal to 2 over the absorption coefficient. If magdi-design tayo ng ating semiconductor, kailangan ito number one rule. Ano? Yung thickness niya. Kung gaano ka-thick ang ating semiconductor, kung gaano kakapal. Kailangan, ano tayo dito? Compliant. Ano? So this simple relation is of a very critical importance for solar cell design. Ano? As the semiconductors are expensive, one should use the minimum quantity off to perform the absorption function. So in this scenario, one needs thicker crystalline silicon layers as it has the lowest absorption coefficients. So this is true for thin film solar cells. So for wafer-based conventional solar cells, the minimum layer thickness is limited by mechanical rigidity. So next, we have the solar cell is the basic element in PV array. Again, ang PV array natin, kinocompose yan ng solar panels. Ano? And itong solar panels natin, ito, composed of solar cell. Ano? So it has the vital function of converting the solar radiation into electricity directly. So to perform its function satisfactorily, it must have the highest possible conversion efficiency. So meron tayong it has to basically carry out two basic functions. So absorb and separate. So absorb the incident solar radiation, generating at least one whole pair for each photon. Then we need to separate and collect the electrons and holes such that the electrons accumulate at the negative pole while the holes accumulate at the positive poles. So PN junction pa rin yan. So the separation potential must be high as possible. The PV effect of a PN solar cell. So the construction of PN junction ng solar cell natin, back metallization and typically metallized front to allow the passage of light to the semiconductor while collecting current. Then the front metallization is in the form of metal fingers with a common base shown in figure B. Ano? So ito ang construction ng ating PN junction. So saan nga ba? Ano dapat ang requirements ng PN junction natin? Oh, P rate o yung daw 0 to meters. Man dapat 0 to 0.5 micrometers. Ting P-type dito area. Ano? So ito 0.1 to 5 lang micrometers. Ito naman up to 0.0 to 0.5 ang ating P-type. N-type then subs yan. Thickness niya to the 16, 17 over cm3. Sa N plus layer is 10 to the 18th minus 10 to the 19th over cm3. Then yung metal thickness natin for the solar cell is 5 micrometers. So the active material is monocrystalline silicon. So kailangan crystalline yung atomic structure ng ating silicon. For a higher efficiency. Ano, hindi amorphous, hindi polycrystalline, kailangan crystalline talaga. So the solar